Let's get into it. It's crime o'clock, yeah, feel that sound. Typically unique when the truth comes out. Tick-tock, won't stop, let the facts talk. Pull up real close, yeah, it's crime o'clock. Clock, clock, yeah. Typically new, yeah. Neon signs glow, brick wall behind me. Headlines loud, but they never define me. They rush the story, skip the proof. I slow it down, let it show the truth. Files on deck, read every line. Timestamps matter, so does time. If it don't fit, I don't force the frame. Ask one question, whole story change. No fear my voice, no need to shout. Paper speaks when you read it out. If the math's off, I'll circle twice. Truth ain't loud, but it ain't nice. Yeah. Read it again. It's crime o'clock, yeah. Feel that sound. Typically unique when the truth comes out. Tick tock, won't stop. Let the facts talk. Pull up real close, yeah. It's crime o'clock. It's crime o'clock. Read it again. They sell a narrative if I sell receipts. Courtroom quiet, but the pages speak. Word for word, no added spin. Let it stand, yeah. Let that sink in. Screenshot save, timelines tight. Missing pieces keep me up at night. If they say elected, I say why. If they say case closed, I say try. No rush here, we do it right. Truth don't bend for the likes of hype. If you came for noise, you in the wrong spot. This is evidence, this is crime o'clock. Clock, clock, clock. Stay with me. This isn't background noise. This is pattern recognition. This is documents. This is crime o'clock. It's crime o'clock, yeah. Feel that sound. Typically unique when the truth comes out. Tick tock, won't stop. Let the facts talk. Say it with me now. Crime o'clock. It's crime o'clock. Typically unique. It's crime o'clock. Yeah. If you're here, you're early. If you're listening, you're paying attention. Show starts now.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back. Welcome back to Crime O'Clock on Typically Unique. Oh my goodness, I've missed you guys. What was it? 5 days away, I think I was. It's crazy. All right, I won't talk about Lollapalooza too much, but this is the shirt I got. It just says Lollapalooza, and it's got the all the headliners on the back of it. So it's pretty cool. Hello, hello. I hope you're all having a great day. You had a great weekend. I slept like 12 hours yesterday. Not exaggerating. I am not exaggerating. I was dead. 4-day festival. I'll never do that again, but I'm glad I did it. My daughter's probably thankful I'm saying I'll never do it again. There were 3 of us that went, and I let them go do their things. I didn't hang out with them the whole entire time. I would find a little patch of grass in the middle of 2 stages, and I would chill with a drink and sitting on either little scarf thing I brought or garbage bag, because it poured on Saturday. They had to delay the concert, so good time, good time. But today we're going to get into it, and I've been trying to keep up on everything, and I got to give a huge shout out to Jen 7S. She has been keeping me in the loop the whole time I was gone, sending me stuff, keeping me updated, holding down the Discord, letting me know like what was going on. I missed you guys too. And let's see. She streamed Netflix. Of course, it was the day I left. the Netflix documentary dropped. I still haven't made my way through the whole entire thing. I keep falling asleep. Sorry, but I will make my way through it. But we streamed it in Discord, and I think everybody who was there for it, we had a good handful of people. I think they really enjoyed being able to watch it and chat with each other. So that was really nice. Discord's been popping off, you guys. It has been popping off. We're sharing all kinds of things in there. One of the things that I did get out of the Netflix documentary, and I think everybody's been talking about it, is Cooper. Is it Atkinson? Addis? Is it Anderson or Atkinson? I think it's Atkinson. The guy that FaceTimed Ethan like 5 times. Jen is a rock star. Atkinson. Okay, I corrected myself on paper. I'm like, I think that's it. Thanks, Luther. He said he lived 10 feet away. I think that's was the length of distance he said from 1122. Now, 1112, the pumpkin camera house, seems to be mostly girls, although we did see a male go in there and I never saw him leave on the camera. So I don't know if there's a mix of people in there. But the house next to it is 1118, and I've been calling that the Shark Tank, the big long house, the one that Xana used to live at, the one that Xana threw all the parties at. And we have videos of them partying on the roof. I'm wondering if that's the house he talked about. And I forgot. I need to send myself. I was doing some work this morning. I slept yesterday, but I got up and Adam and his bedroom window faces 1122, and that he saw all the law enforcement over there. Oh, I probably saved it in the wrong spot. Let's type this in. Give me 1 second, you guys. I have so much planned for today. Picks for live. Maybe that's what I did. I think this one. I think I got it. I do got it. Okay. Now let me see if it's showing up. There we go. Okay, so this would be what I would call the Shark Tank. It's the house that like goes along the fence. And if you can see that, there's a door right there on the side. And I saw another angle from, and you can see 1122 right there in the background. There's the side of the house. When I saw it from a different angle, there's like even a sidewalk that looks like it comes out from that door. So let me know what you guys think in the chat. Where do you think Cooper was talking about? And even more important than that, they didn't ask him. Did you guys hear them? Well, I mean, it was Netflix, so come on. They need to be asking him, why'd you FaceTime Ethan so many times? So right down here, back door, 2 windows and a back door right there. That's the house that we can see a guy walk around the whole outside of the house, like in the middle of the night. Do you guys remember that? So, yeah. Kim's icy. Oh, let me say hello to everybody. I'm glad I see some people that aren't green because it's a new month. I think I can give away some membership. Oh no, I'm freezing. If it's let me know in the chat. Who else is it freezing? If it's just you, it's been happening to me a lot. I have to leave and come back. Leave the live and come back. Hello, Miss Dixon. I was frozen. Oh no. I have a feeling accomplished day is probably getting the Cooper interview, but I'm not sure about that. Am I okay now? Can you guys see me moving now? Blue tub outside the same door as the pong table. It's fixed. Okay. Thank you guys. Hello, Song of the Siren, Jenna, One Can, Leanne, Jen 7S, Kawanda. Hello, Michelle Turner. Got a couple of Michelles in here. Lady Speedwell. He didn't even know Ethan very well. Yeah. Sleuther 75. Good morning. All right, Mikey Mike. Oh, Mike. We'll have to talk privately about that. That's one thing Carlos and I said. They do not care in Chicago. They do not care. L Mercy, hello. Lexi S20, hello. Dale Harrison. All right. So Cooper. So I went searching this morning just to see if I could get some body cam footage of when the officers went door to door. They went door knocking. They went to the 1112 house. They went over to Jack DeCore's house. They went to the house next to Jack DeCore. Like, they were knocking on all the doors. I couldn't find them knocking on the Shark Tank. So I will keep looking, but I checked all of Christie's and all of Connor's because they have most of the body cams. Couldn't find that. I think that's interesting. Did they even go to that house and knock on that door? I mean, I could have missed it, but I could have missed it. All right. So then I watched, I did listen to the Bianca interview. That's the one that's really long, but most of it's redacted. And I was listening while I was walking around Chicago and I didn't take notes or anything. So I'm going to come back to that another day. But I re-listened to the Jack D interviews this morning, and I did take some notes. And I'll just tell you, how many of you, if you think there's a drug connection, that's what I put on my thumbnail. So many questions about drugs in these interviews that are coming out. I felt a little vindicated with, questioning those things. Oh, and let's not bury the lead. Let's not bury the lead. The biggest vindication for me was that, or I guess like boom for me, because I have been searching for the person who is Xana's ex, that was kicked out of the Delts, that was known to be the biggest supplier of blank on the campus. Lo and behold, the person whose interview that is must have been Martha, right? Is she the one that she's the one that said that? I believe. And it was Mason Bangman. Bang. Yes, it was. And we were suspecting him. However, couldn't verify it. The only thing we could verify was that we knew before Martha's interview came out that we knew Xana. It was pretty clear that Xana had dated Mason. We saw photos of them together. We saw them at formals together. I just could never tell if he was kicked out of the Delts. And so now, to me, I'm like, when was he kicked out? Because there's photos of him on that campus all the way up to 2024. before 2025. Like, as far as I know, he's still hanging out there. Is this one a whole house? What's the question? Kim, that house on the screen, is that one a whole house? Oh, yeah, it's long. Like, it's long. So to the right of it is the pumpkin house. This we call the shark tank. And then to the left of it, I don't know. I'm looking for the King Cabin girls' house. I don't know where that's at yet. The barking. Mason Bangman chased the girls back, not the girls, chased people back to campus. Like, he chased them back to the dorms. That's so funny. Barking. He must have really been amped up. All right, here it is. Here's Martha's. So I have report number 20. Idaho State Police report number 20, and it is Martha. I was looking at Martha's report this whole time and never knew her name. So thank you to everybody out there, Dog Boy, who identified her. That's a good one. All right, let's backtrack to... We're gonna catch up to Macy Bangman. I got some stuff to show. Oh, and before you look at my hands, I normally have my nails all done, all pretty, but it was a rough time over the weekend, and I lost some nails, and I don't know where they're at. I can't find my nails to put them back on. So I apologize. Kawanda, thank you so much. I feel vindicated about seeing a red flag with the obsession of the bigs and littles. Yeah. There's no way that the big little setup isn't related to the drugs, especially now that we know the house was selling. Boom, right there. And we've been tracking that for a while, haven't we? Was I fighting at the EDM stage to see chain smokers with a bunch of 20-year-olds? Practically. I fell on my butt. I got shoved around in that crowd. Never doing that again. Hey, Beach Babe. Hello. Thank you so much, Kawanda. Let's kick this week back off right. What do we got? Let's do
yeah, wait a minute. Get it how you live it. 10 toes in when we standing on business. I'm a big stepper.
We're big steppers. Big steppers calling out those bigs and littles. Bigs and littles. All right, let me take this down and we'll do a little review first before we get into Jack D. See if I know I can remember how to do this. I don't want to be rusty after just a tiny little break. You're not showing up for me. All right, hold on. Let me get it. Let me get this turned on. We're getting the inspector out, you guys. The inspector. That's why I warned you about my nails. It's turning on. Let's see if it will show. There we go. All right. Get my internet back up. I know. Okay. There we go. We should be good. Let's get that up there before we go. Whoops, where'd you go? Kawanda, I feel like I found my niche of what I bring to the community and the investigation. Greek life, absolutely, absolutely. Kawanda, have you heard of, like, I mean, in your experience, bigs and littles? I guess I have two questions. Bigs and littles being mixed with the male and female, like the frats and the sororities. Is that unusual to have a guy big or a guy little if you're a female? That's weird to me, but I would love to know your thoughts. And what was the other question? Besides what's been in the news, does it like, um, is it surprising that they would use that setup for something? Yep. Is Tony Stevenson in the house? Hey, Glenn. Monique, hello, hello. Thank you for that, Kawanda. Thank you. Let's do some peace.
Go, shorty. It's your birthday.
Go, shorty. Oh my gosh, I'm clicking buttons. Sorry, you guys. Saluther! 10 new memberships. Peeps in the club. Let's see who we got here. Why is this not catching up? Oh my gosh. All right. Ooh, 10 peeps. Gail G74, High Heels and Henny. Holly Hap, 1985. Oh, I love that. 1985. I love that. Cynthia Rose RN, Cassie Kales, A. Krabby, Freedom Fighter. Love that name. I got to protest a little bit while I was in Chicago too, of course. Michelle Roy, the Good Troll. Welcome to the peeps. And we'll have to do this. I think we'll just add 5 more right on top of that. Welcome peeps while we're taking a little break here to do this. Soul Shine for Jesus Christ. Gypsy. Colonel H. Read Deeply, and Diane Downstash. Welcome to the peeps. All right. Okay. So these are the I took brief notes. Let's see if there it is. About the Jack Decor interview. So just real quick. So I just took notes. This is his first one, the first interview. He was on the phone with his attorney. Very first question out the gate. I mean, they were clearly calling him to find out who this cocaine dealer was, right? Like they were on a mission. And I just want to say, all of these interviews, all of them, just think of all the interviews. Were they really asking questions about besides stalking, they were asking about the stalker. Was there a stalker? But other than that, they weren't trying to ask people about, in my opinion, trying to figure out about strangers in the area or any questions that would have been just some psycho serial killer in the area. To me, if they ask questions about noise, they were just, hey, did you hear anything that night? No. Oh, okay, move on. But when they started, and this is the 21st, this is 8 days. They were already onto this deep in 8 days, 7 days. Can I do math? 8 days. Think about that, you guys. 8 days from the murder, they're like, who's the dealer? They had already heard enough information from people they were talking to think, man, is there someone who was pissed off at these kids? All right. So, they were saying, the investigators were saying that they know Kaylee uses regularly. Like, they knew that. They came into this interview like, we know that. And Jack was like, no, not when we were together. Nope, not when we were together. Nope. Okay. So then they're like, well, we have text messages from you between you and Kaylee. We have text messages. And they were asking, like, does this name, like, think about this. 8 days later, the cops had the name. They had the name. Does that ring a bell? Nope. Okay. His name is blank. I only know his first name. I think that's when they were asking, like, I don't know, but it's curious, right? That's the same thing that Chris O'Flaherty said. Just remember this, those of you that were with me. Logan at Bronx Tales got the Chris O'Flaherty body cam footage when Caden Young OD'd, and Chris O'Flaherty was a Kappa. How does it go? Lambda. Alpha Kappa Lambda. Chris O'Flaherty said his girlfriend knew a plug, and they only knew his first name. People like that aren't going by first and last name. You know them by probably a nickname, right? You don't get to know my name. So they had a first name. I thought it was very, very interesting, very telling that they were looking at text messages between Jack and Kaylee from 2 years ago. That's 2 years from 2022. So it would be 2020. In 2020, there's text messages between Jack and Kaylee talking about coke. Okay. This goes back a long ways. They were asking Jack, where would she get it? Where would she get it? And he said, I only know of like 2 to 3 houses. He never gave any information about her specifically buying it from anyone. He was saying he knew if she was doing it, it would have been like at a house party. She would have done it at a house party, and he knew 2 or 3 houses. Wonder what houses those are. Off-campus Alpha Phi houses. Remember, Alpha Phi was the sorority in the most trouble. Alpha Phi was in more trouble than the Pi Phis. Alpha Phi was in trouble with their national security. Let's see. What do you guys? I have a question about this. One of the text messages, they said that they found from Jack Decor, or from Kaylee to Jack, was, in 3 months, you'll be doing it yourself. In 3 months, you'll be doing it yourself. Wasn't Jack older than Kaylee? The rumor was always he was older. And I won't, go digging for this today, but I got to find out when he graduated. Because Kaylee's younger than him, telling him you're going to be doing it yourself. I don't know. To me, that I don't think this means using. I think it means getting in the mix of, we'll just call it the pyramid scheme that we're talking about. The ring, the circle. Lady Speedwell. One can, Leanne, you got that right. Yep. I'm just looking at your comments. I mean, why wasn't Emma Bailey's name? I don't feel like I heard that. It seemed like they were saying a guy's name. Does Emma Bailey have a street nickname, you guys? I wonder if she has a street nickname. We should look through her photos and see if anybody comments anything like that. Oh, congratulations, Gail. That's amazing. Hi, Sylvia Hurley. So good to see you. You think a year older? I mean, I remember back in the day, people were saying like, he's 27 years old. I don't know if he was that old, but yeah. Yep. Okay. So, to me, I think, and if this is back in 2020, you're going to get tied up into this. He's claiming he didn't. Okay. I wanted to ask your opinion about this. Let me pull it up. I think I'll be able to come back to that. We're going to go to, not that. Accomplished Day. You guys make sure you are supporting her channel because she is getting, she got the Jack Decor interview. Okay, my computer's being slow for some reason. Let me take this down. We're not watching the whole thing. I just got a little clip I wanted to ask you about. 9 minutes in. He says some names and you can only hear the beginning sound. And I wanted to know your guys' thoughts, what you thought he was saying. Okay, we'll try this. Let me make sure it's showing up. All right.
The only name that I could think of would be.
Okay. Let's listen to these names.
We don't give a rip. We don't give a rip about the venues here.
I couldn't care less.
No, I understand that. I do understand that. The only name that I could think of would be.
Okay, that one sounded like it started with a K, not co, more like Ka, Connor. Ka, I don't know. Redacted.
I know he does it regularly. I don't know.
What house is he?
What else does he sell?
Okay. We're going to talk about the car though. Yeah.
Okay. It was just that one name. I wondered, let's see. I wondered if he was talking about Connor, because then they start talking about a white car. They start talking about a white car. And oh my goodness, I looked it up. I guess I don't have to pull it up, but someone, I think Accomplished Day, has requested Connor Chestnut's mom actually has an interview. And at the end of that interview, she says that he drives a white car or has a white car, but she says he never drives it around campus because he always uses like their Sobros and things like that. So there's a connection there, right? Because they started asking him about a small white 2-door car. And at first they said with a loud exhaust, but Jack said, yeah, I told you it was an Audi. And so he knew about a white Audi with a loud exhaust. So whoever's been looking into the cars, that's probably verification for some of you with that. And then they said, no, it's more like a Nissan and just 2 doors. So it will be interesting to see. You're waiting for Connor's mom so you can pay the second half. Yep. I am going to pull that up real quick. I think she's interview 43. If I'm wrong, then I won't go digging, but I think she's interview 43. State Police Docs. It's the one that says redacted graphic. I'll let you guys see that I'm pulling it up. And I might already be on it. What is this? 59. What one was this? Oh, that's the one I'm waiting for ISP 59 interview. I'm waiting for 2 of them. I want 43. I can see all my notes. All my highlighting. We've been digging through these documents. I'm almost there. I hope I don't have the wrong number. I'm thinking of another one. Whoop. 44. I think this is it. The mother. Yep. Let me see what you guys are saying. Hey, Dago. How you doing today? Brian, we've missed you. I haven't seen you in so long. Hello. Oh, Bethany and Jenna. Yeah. For sure. Okay, this is Idaho State Police Report 43. And this was December 6th. They're like getting to these people quickly. Blank is the mother of blank. The interview took place at blank in Boise, Idaho. During the interview, blank told us the following. She did not call a tip-in. She has never called. Makes you wonder, like, were they thinking, like, someone called in a tip? She only knows what blank tells her. Her son. She received the text when it first happened and was concerned for blank. She learned it was 4 people later that night with her husband. Blank has been home since the week before Thanksgiving. This has to be Connor. Let me know if I'm wrong, accomplished day. This has to be Connor's mom. Connor went in for an interview with the FBI before Thanksgiving. With the FBI before Thanksgiving. Connor was home Saturday, December 3rd, and is currently home. Connor has been good, and he is a good, very responsible kid. Frat life has been good to Connor. Thank you. I came over to double check. I double check with you. Moscow is a small community. They all work, play, and go to school together. I wonder if she's an older mom. Does it sound like an older mom? Connor knew the victims and was friends with them. Xana was familiar with Delta Tau Delta frat house. Connor knew all 3 girls and was familiar with Ethan. So that's something that his mom knows that, don't you think? Well, I mean, he probably told her after, like, talking about it. That makes sense. As far as she knows, they were all friends. Connor went to Cabo with his frat brothers. Connor is a pretty honest person. Connor is not too attached with any girl. He is friendly with a lot. Playa. The girls seem to like him. She does not know of Connor getting into trouble. Connor was at the day party at the Whites, I would assume. Connor left the party to get something to eat and drink. Then he went back to the frat house. Connor should have alibis because he took the fraternity designated driver. And we have that interview. We have the designated driver interview. Someone is there to corroborate his whereabouts. She does not know what type of room Connor has at the frat house. Connor has talked about how his room is set up. Connor was the blank on the frat. Connor was the blank on the frat council last year. I'll have to look at those photos. Yeah, I do believe he is in the he's on the executive board. We'll have to look. I have photos of those things. She does not think Connor is on blank this year. So currently not on the executive board. The frat was on suspension from events a couple of years ago. The current member, would that a couple years ago be when Mason Bangman got kicked out? Because we're going to look at that. The current members have to clean up from the past. They have to clean up from the past. A lot of the frat life is over her head. She thinks it's a little disconcerting someone would call in this tip. So someone called in a tip about Connor. She gives her phone number. Now here it is, number 21 right here. Connor has a white blank blank he drives at school. He does not drive it very much. Blank uses a designated driver for the frat. All right, so just to put it on record, I was talking about the Jack D interview. They were asking Jack about white cars. And he was, I think he said a name that drove a small 2 white. No, that's what they were asking about. A small 2 white 2-door, white 2-door. Sorry. So this is just, in a report, of a person that drove that car. How much did they look into this? Does it have a front license plate? Does it have fog lights? Does it match what we think we see on camera? Okay. That's that. Looking at your comments. Okay. When Mason graduated, he had on the adult letters. I don't think he got kicked out. I know, but you can hear her say it clear as day. So do you think she's lying? Because that's what I thought too. Mason said he graduated. I gotta look. I have a folder on Mason. We'll look at some of the stuff. I don't know if I saw that he graduated. He says he graduated in that in his arrest video. So fun fact, we have an arrest video thanks to Logan at Bronx Tales of Mason Bangman's arrest. We've watched it here on a previous live. He was arrested for fighting, and he was complaining about his handcuffs being too tight and hurting. But we come to find out later, he probably wanted to get his hands free because he had coke in his pocket that he got busted with during the arrest. And during that time, he said he went to the U of I, and he did talk about graduating. I don't know. I just know I need to look into that more. Jack and his sister left U of I that day and never returned. Jack, who? Decor? He has a sister? Kayla Newen's graduation pics. I feel like her name got brought up too. Her name got brought up too in the second interview with Jack Decor. You can hear, because it's a difficult last name to say, and you can hear the officer say, I think it's pronounced this. I think it's pronounced. So like, it's like 1,000% Kayla Newen. And Jack said, no, he didn't think she would use substances. So then I'm assuming after the Kayla N question, they must ask about, I think I hear sailor. And I believe we're also waiting for that interview. And I think sailor, he said yes to. Yep. All right. One more little clip here. Same interview, 11:35 clip. It's another name. We'll start here. It's a little early. I have it. Oh, this is it. Hold on. Okay, here we go. Ch. Ch. I'll put some more thought into it. Oh, I didn't show you. You guys couldn't hear it. Oh my God. Okay, hold on. I got you. Let me just rewind it. Oh, wait, here. Here you go.
A guy named find it. A guy named
Ch. A guy named Ch.
Guy's nickname that we think is the cocaine dealer. If you can think anything more about that, that would be very helpful.
I will definitely put some more thought into it.
That's it. I'll just definitely put some more thought into it. I don't know. I would be boots on the ground, calling every single person, hitting up all these frats. If that was your good friend, ex-girlfriend of over 5 years, what would you be doing? Would you say, "Oh, I'll try to look into it. I'll try to find some more." So there's a nickname of somebody that starts with Ch. There's also a report. I think it's an MPD report. I've read it on here before, where they were onto this name early on, and they took this nickname. And they went to every agency. They went to the sheriff. They went to the drug task force. They went to the state police. They went to like every little agency that had something to do with investigating the drug ring and asked them, "Hey, do you know somebody by this moniker?" They kept calling it a moniker. Nope. Nobody heard of them. Nobody's heard of them. Yeah. So we read it in reports. Now we're hearing it in interviews. So before, all I thought was a C. Now we know it's a ch sound. So we're getting a little bit closer. Oh, that was because I was playing it on like half speed. You guys, so we could hear it. What are you guys saying was on Facebook? What was on Facebook? Oh, the Olivia. I thought they got married on July 4th. Yeah. I have to tell you, I think that this generation, like in their 20s, they're just laid back like that. I don't know. I don't know what it takes to like light a fire under them, but I don't know. Crazy. Okay. Thank you, G Bean. Thanks, guys, that are answering me in the chat. Okay. Let's get to the... Oh, they were all... Just one last thing. With Jack D's second interview, they definitely asked about Kayla Newen, Sailor, and Bianca, I feel. Jack said that Kaylee did it the night before. Did you guys catch that in his second interview? And then he was trying to make it seem like, oh, it was like years ago also. Like, he also said that the Delts were people that used a lot. And then the cops let him know they were looking for a middle-aged man. Middle-aged man. Hi, Brandon. Brandon Metcalf. What's one simple thing y'all would like to know? What was Dylan's battery percentage when she sent that my phone's about to die? Thank you. Kayla Wen. Kayla Wen. That is a good question. I would like to know. Well, if I could get anything, I'd want Brian Koberger's interview. That's what I want. I want Brian Koberger's interview. Number one on my list. Give me Brian Koberger's interview. That's my number one. Okay. All right. Now we're going to Martha, Martha, Martha. Again, you guys, make sure you're following Accomplish Days page. Have we dropped her link in the chat? She's got FOIA requests that are coming on there on her posts, interviews. Also, it's not just interviews. She has put together little videos and things that are awesome also. And I'm also going over to Connor. And I know Connor was waiting for thank you, Michelle. Michelle F22. Thank you. Thank you. Connor had a pretty big priced interview that he needs help with.
Here comes the 2 to the 3 to the 4. Everybody drunk out on the dance floor. Baby girl ass jiggle like she want more.
They did not have that kind of music at Lollapalooza. The closest I got was I saw clips, and someone was telling me, I don't know if it was Jen, probably Jen, that they were going to be there, and I didn't even know them. I didn't know one song that they had, but they were a rap group, like a true rap group. And man, I was dancing to every song. I had so much fun watching them, and it wasn't packed either. Koberger had an interview. I don't know. I want to hear the interview. Yeah, I guess you're right. That's the way they described it. And I don't trust the cops. That's why I want to hear it. I want to hear what he said to those cops, because if it was nothing, they would release it. If it was damning against him, they would release it. But they don't want to release it. They don't want to release it. I don't know when they will make a ruling. I don't know if there's I would go to Kathy's Indie Zone page for all of that. She is awesome with that kind of information. Oh, you know their group? I'm sure I heard it. Yeah, that was fun. All right, what am I looking for here? Martha. But we want to go to Connor. Here we go. We're not watching the whole interview, you guys. I'm not watching the whole interview. I'm just going to like the last 10 minutes or so. Because, of course, Martha holds the good stuff back. And she even says, though, I got to give her credit. She's like, I probably should have led with that. You think? You think? Right. We'll stop right here. Oh, let me put it on normal speed. Yeah, we're going to look at some photos.
Like, this is a photo of him and Santa together.
All right, let's do the same thing. We're going to look at some photos. So we've been talking about Mason Bangman for a while. Let me pull up my photos here. Mason Bangman has his own folder. He gets his own folder. Okay, now these are not in order. These photos are not in order. So let me, I have been trying to follow a rule of screenshotting with the date. So this is January of 2023, you guys. So right after the murders. So after the murders, he's hanging out. That looks like it's on campus, don't you think? Right, GB, we learned the hard way. We learned the hard way. We got to get these timestamps. Where'd it go? Where did you go? There you are. Okay. So, you know, there he is. Now, this is I think it's 2024. So this is the next fall. This would be a year after the murders. I don't know if that's him. That doesn't look like the same person. Let me see. I don't know. Maybe he looks taller here. We'll skip that one. I don't know. Here he is with Xana. And again, this was screenshot, so I don't have a date on this one, but we're going to look at some of the dates. Again, is that Emily Allant? I know I have a photo with her somewhere. All right, these are the delts. These are the delts. So we've got Manu over there to the left, Mason Barstow in the middle, Mason Bangman with the glasses on. Corbin, Brent, and Kai Davis. Always got to be grabbing their junk. Do I have a date on this one? I think I screenshot this. No, but I have some dates. There's his mugshot after getting in a fight. The fight was in Boise. So here he is on campus. But guess where he worked, you guys? Let me see if I can find it. I'll come back to these. There. Look. Vandal Solutions. Vandal Solutions. February of 2022. Isn't that what Xana worked for? Vandal Solutions. This says, Mason is always willing to go the extra mile for the sales team and is super positive. Thanks for your hard work. They were the sales associates. Oh, no, they were the associates of the month, Mason Bangman and Alex Gustafson. That was February of 2022. So now let me go back here. All right, this is January of 22. Mason has the vest on, black puffy vest. And all right, this date is important. This is December 6th of 2021. So December of 2021, he's with Xana. I do not rule that out, Annie Ruler. What if, I don't know. I understand what you're saying. I don't rule that out. Vandal Solutions is sus. I agree. He has put some timber on. Oh, I forgot what I said, SRB. I forgot what I said. Some of us like bad boys. Yes. I mean, who else is in this photo? Do I know any there? There's Bethany. Look who Bethany's with. I'm sorry. Oh, isn't that Cooper Atkinson on the end? Isn't that Cooper? Cooper, Mason Bangman. Who else we got there? I think that's Christian Gonzalez on the left. Far left. Christian Gonzalez. I don't recognize anybody else. Mason Bangman behind Xana. Bethany is with somebody. And I really think that's Cooper. What do you guys think? Interesting group there. I agree. Yeah. I think they were probably only together for even less than that. Even less than that. That's what I'm trying to narrow down here. So, all right, that was December. Let's see, what's this? Just a screenshot. So I have no idea what this is, but he's in the crowd right here. So there he is. There's the Vandal Solutions. We looked at that. Oh, maybe that was Vandal Solutions. Yeah, he's got a suit on. Wait, is that Xana in the front? Oh, Maddie's in there? You guys, Xana's down front on the right. Is that Maddie behind her? I can't tell. Or is it just someone that looks like her? Are these all Vandal Solutions people? I have to yell at myself because I don't have the date on there. It does look like Maddie. But nobody says she worked there. Right? Oh, SRB, thank you so much. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. That means a lot. Thank you. Thank you.
This is how we do it.
We can't even do the second part.
Clock it. So I gotta say thank you. Clock it.
Bubbles is the bestest. Thank you. Thank you. So, yeah, I got some questions now with these photos with Vandal Solutions. Oh, wait a minute. What was this? Oh, that's what we already looked at. So remember, what was the date on this? February 11th, 2022. February 11th, 2022. And this is Emily, right? Look how blonde her hair was. Pretty. Mason and Emily Allant. Emily posted this, a glimpse of my favorite memories with my favorite people. Oh, no, I didn't get the date. But Xana liked it. Does this one have a date? Oh, come on. Nope. But there's Mason on Emily's lap. There's the full-length photo of Mason and Xana at a dance. This is December 2021. December 2021. Wait, maybe isn't Cooper Atkinson a Sigma Chi, or is he a Delt? I thought they said he was Sigma Chi. Jules, you sent Jules. Thank you. Clock it. Oh my gosh. Simply Kayla Nicole. Did his interview come out saying he was out of town with his what? Hey, kiss me. Mason Bangman does not have an interview that I'm aware of. But I think this guy here in the middle, look, what do you guys think? I've got it blown up as big as I can get it. Doesn't that look like Cooper Atkinson, or is it someone that just looks like him? Let me see if I can make it bigger. This guy here? Or is it just someone that looks like him? I don't know this guy's name. I'll do some digging and figuring out. This is Joe Faraka that posted this. I don't know which one he is. I don't know. Now this is in Boise, you guys. In Boise. This is current Mason Bangman, okay? This is Mason Bangman fighting in the bars in Boise. This year was 2024. Oh, BFFs. Oh, it's Kayla Wynn. BFFs and Nashville Archive. So I don't know if he went to Nashville with them. Did he go to Nashville with them? Annie Ruler, a recent graduate of a college, said she heard it was about the missing and money. Yeah. One Can Leanne had whose interview? You're getting confused with Mason Barstow. Do not get confused with Mason Barstow. There's two Masons. This is Mason Bangman. Mike. This kid's all over the place. This kid is all over the place. Oh no, kiss me. I hope you're better. Cooper was Sigma Chi. All right. There's three Masons. Witchy, don't throw in another Mason. Yeah, there is. Mason Mitsri. Mason Mitsri is a Sigma Chi. That's right. That's right. All right. Here's another one. This is the group. Let me see what year. This is March of 2024. March of 2024. So look, it looks like someone's parents. Looks like someone's parents are there. I don't know. But Kayla. Does it look like that Bailey girl right next to Mason? Bailey that said she was Jack DeCour's cousin? How about this girl in the black? She looks familiar. She looks like Martha. She looks like glammed up Martha. Does anybody recognize anybody else? Who was the guy that played games with Ethan? Oh, Caleb Jacobson. Caleb Jacobson. Oh, you're good one, Can Leanne. You're good. It's easy to mix up. All right, what is this one? Does this have a date on it? This is Emily Allant. It does have a date, but I can't. Let me see. This is, okay, so February of 2022. February. There's no Ethan in this picture. It's Mason, Zach, Zach Teeter. I don't know. I'm just thinking a Z sound might sound like a ch sound. I don't know. Emily, Xana, Kendra Schumacher, Ellie Shepard, Ella Sykes. Some of those we have interviews coming. And then Manu with Mason Bangman. Maddie Thornton commenting. Maddie Thornton lived with Hunter Johnson and Caleb Jacobson. And she said, I love our friends. Martha Blanks Smith. Martha Blanche Smith. In love with you. Martha Smith wrote in love with you on this photo. And who posted this? Emily. Josie Lauteran wrote, if we aren't best friends for life, I'll die. So listen to the names. Emily Allant posted it. Josie Lauteran comment. Kendra Schumacher comment. Harps Quinn. I don't know who that is. Harps Quinn. Oh, I love you. Maddie Thornton. Martha Smith. So there's some connections. But I think it's interesting that I would say possibly in February of 22, maybe Ethan and Xana aren't serious right now. I don't know. They're definitely not attached to the hip. Hi, Sparkly Starfish. Well, Josie's not in the picture, so... Oh, you mean Hunter and Emily? Right. I don't... Like, how long had Hunter and Emily been dating, you know? I'm just reading your comments real quick. So, yeah, I'm just trying to get a timeline here. That was a good catch with This looks like a young Mason Bangman. Is that Pete in the hat? Is that Pistol Pete in the hat? I mean, I know he's making making a face, so it's hard to tell. There's way more I'm going to say cross contamination. Cross contamination between fraternities, unless that's adult right there in the pink shirt. I don't know. And then not sure who these girls are. I feel like I've seen the brown-haired girl before, but I don't know who she is. Okay, I've probably read this before. This is from the book, Broken Plea, so take it with a grain of salt. But this is where Ava Wood was the one that said she had put a door lock, a deadbolt on her door, and she told police, let me see. It was October 14th at 1 a.m. She heard someone climb up the metal steps to her apartment, which was across the street from 1122 King Road, and try the door. You could hear the jingle of my doorknob. It's a finicky doorknob. I believe she does say this in her interview. But the door stayed closed because Ava had put a deadbolt during her junior year. She told police what she now tells Taylor, that at the time she'd looked on Snapchat to see if any of her friends were in the area, saw one, Mason Bangman, and texted him to ask if he had just tried to let himself in. No, he said. So Ava asked him to check the street. So that's mentioned in the book. And then if we went back and listened to her interview, we'd probably be able to hear her say that now. But it's probably blurred out. Okay. Let me show you. This is what I have been speculating and theorizing. So I just want to review it real quick because I was not horribly wrong. I mean, it hasn't been completely disproven yet, I guess I should say. So this is how I started. At the very, very, very beginning with Chief Fry saying, we don't know if the house is the target or if the victims were the target. Okay. So I think it's not the house being the target because Bethany and Dylan were not killed. So I think it's the people in the house. And I've always thought that it was the people in the house because of drugs. And the number one thing that made me think that was the parents. Okay. Xana and Maddie's. I've always thought that the frats would be involved, and that would be why they were silent, right? They're not going to rat anybody out. Hi, Astastic. Thanks, Dago. So they're silent because of the frats being involved with buying and selling. Okay. And now we finally got that name. We finally got the name Mason Bangman. There's a ring. I don't think the fraternity people are the ones that did the killing. I think there's worse bad guys involved. Okay. So this has always been like my working theory. I told you guys earlier I was missing a nail. So there's drugs. All those kids are being silent. They are not being forthcoming with information, right? Code of silence. I'm not ratting anybody out, and it's probably dangerous. We finally heard Mason Barstow's interview. And I think that is the most suspicious interview that we have all the way around. The way it was recorded, the way they blurred things out. There's so much weird stuff going on in that interview. Okay. We found out from Mason Barstow that there was a guy visiting his girlfriend. And this guy, I think, could be the older guy that the cops are asking about, but I don't know. That I'm still thinking about that. But this guy who's visiting calls Mason Barstow the next morning and says, do a head count. Do a head count. Is this guy visiting Mason Bangman? Is this Mason Bangman? I don't know. I don't know. Or it's an older guy. Xana. What did I put here? Oh, I wrote this a long time ago. Who got kicked out? And until it was disproven, I always thought it was Bangman. Now, I got to go back to my reports because we still have these initials CG hanging out there. I'm going to do this for tomorrow. Because we know there's a CG Christian Gonzalez, but I forget how that tied in. So there's a Mason Barstow and there's a Mason Bangman. Mason Barstow, we think, was dating Kaylee. Kaylee's the one that apologized to him that day. Mason Barstow is the vice president of the Delts, and we got his interview. Mason Bangman is a Delt. I'm thinking now that he's the one that got kicked out, if we believe Martha. We can be pretty sure he dated Xana, and he was arrested in 2024. So I need to go back and verify if he graduated. And I have some other questions about him. I'm going to come back and verify. And Kawanda, let's see. Let me get that up there. I think Pistol Pete and Bang Bang Mason are in charge of the frats and sororities. Both of their interviews gave me the chills. Ooh, I'll go back and listen to Pete's interview and compare them. You know what, Kawanda? What if there's somebody from every frat? And you know what I was thinking? I don't know. Does Xana tend to gravitate towards the person in charge? If you know what I mean? Moving from Mason to Ethan. Although I do tend to believe that Ethan and Xana seem to be like two peas in a pod meant for each other. I do agree with that. I know that people said Showalter was kicked out. Good questions. I know I have graduation rosters and GPAs and stuff like that from the Delts. I don't have it lined up for today, but I'll pull that out to come back to. Jack Showalter, Mason Bangman. Good questions. Good questions. Thank you for that, Kwanda. Oh, and I want to look at Pete and you said Bangman. Yeah, Pete's interview. What if that was Pete in that photo, with Mason? That's interesting. That's interesting. A lead for every frat. And okay, speaking to that, let's get into this. So this is how this would work. And this really happened at a college. So let me pull this up. It's not very long. It's like 20 minutes or so. So, I got to go backwards till I find it. Here it is. I don't think this is the right one. This one. Nope. Okay. It is this one. So we're going to watch how a drug empire runs through and gets run by a college, how they use colleges to do that.
Well, before he was selling thousands of pills, Mikey Schmidt was a rowdy kid who lived a decently good life growing up in Dunwoody, Georgia, a suburb about 20 miles north of Atlanta. While his father abandoned him from an early age, his mother was, in his words, a literal saint who worked so hard to give me whatever I wanted.
Okay, I forget the name of the book. I'll have to look on this channel. So some of you know the book that this is from. Let me see if it mentions it more right here. There is a book. Maybe not. I'm sure someone in the chat's going to know. This is 2015. Okay. So this happened back in 2015. And these two kids get busted for one of the biggest college drug rings in the world at that time. So this is in Georgia. Okay, we're in Georgia.
She grinded her way up to become the vice president at a market research firm, a job that put food on Mikey's plate, a roof over his head, and a 1990s Mercedes to drive to high school with. However, while being grateful for his mom, he eagerly wanted to make some vice president level money of his own. Now, he wasn't going to go find a job where he put fries in bags. Instead, he wanted to get rich as quickly as possible, which initiated his first step in the world of drug dealing. At just 15 years old, Mikey was living a proud life of drinking and smoking before class, dating the cutest girl at school, and making at least $10,000 selling weed to his boys. Shit, the only downside to his life was that he was 5 feet 0 inches tall, earning him the nickname Little Mikey. Also from his boys. Thankfully, he did hit a growth spurt his senior year, where he shot up 7 inches to 5'7" before graduating and enrolling in the College of Charleston. CFC is located in the city of Charleston, South Carolina, and it was the perfect fit for Mike. Students here were blessed with beaches to swim at, nice golf courses to play, a super active nightlife with everyone going out at least 4 to 5 times a week, and a nearly 1 to 4 guy to girl ratio at the time. But all of that goodness wasn't even Mikey's top reason for going there. It was the vast array of Greek life the school had, and he wasted no time getting involved. When he first arrived on campus in August of 2013, he went to the Student Activities Information Fair with the sole intent of meeting the guys who were part of the best fraternities on campus, Pi Kappa Alpha and Sigma Alpha Epsilon. These two were widely known as the elite organizations on campus, mainly because, well, most of the members were local. They held numerous high-profile social events, including boat charters, nights with bottle service, and many, many, many wild parties.
Okay, so I just want to point out, I have a couple of digital like poster flyers, screenshot from the Delts that they would go out to Boise, and there's a couple other towns that they would go to, and they would have big parties like this. They would have pool parties. I'm sure they were supplying all the alcohol. And that's why when you hear all the Delts, a lot of them are from Boise. Boise. A lot of the Greek life period is from Boise. Now, Boise is the main city, big city in Idaho. But still, let's make some connections here. Okay, let's make some connections. These guys, they're trying to make connections with the college kids. And so they're putting on big events. Okay, this is how this stuff works. Yep, like the trips. Yes, this is, I'm not saying 100% this is what happened. I'm just saying there are similarities. This could have happened.
Exciting thoughts of partying with these guys for 4 years, Mikey darted past the nerds at the Quidditch booth and headed straight for the SAE table. But on his way there, he ran into someone else, a kid named Rob Lilliberg. Rob, who was dressed in khaki shorts and wielding a Subway footlong, was sitting at the Kappa Alpha order table, a frat that was much different than the two elites. They were considered sort of a middle-tier org, with rowdy, albeit less expensive parties, and members who couldn't keep up with their SAE or Pike classmates professionally. Mikey had heard of these guys from older kids at his high school and his new roommate.
Okay, so we're not going after the most expensive fraternities with all the rich kids who can afford everything. We're going to go after the mid-level, kids who are still working hard, have to like struggle a little bit to make ends meet, right? Hey, William Tardy, so good to see you. Love Tina, I hope I said hello to you.
Still, he wasn't interested until he noticed Rob was baked out of his mind. He saw Rob's bloodshot eyes locked on his sub, enough evidence for him to know he was on the moon, and asked if he smoked. Rob replied, "Yeah, we burn," and invited him to his house to hit his bong. Forgetting about the SAE booth, Mikey simply responded, "Word," sparking the start of a new relationship that would change.
Look who this is. Isn't his name Walter or Walt? What was this guy's name? From Breaking Bad. Here we go.
Their lives forever. After the duo smoked, they started to realize that they actually had a lot in common. They both drove the same 1990s Mercedes SL Coupe. They were both goated on the sticks and both enjoyed trading dick and fart jokes. However, what really brought them together the most was their shared love of drug dealing. While burning together, Mikey noticed several vacuum-sealed bags full of weed stashed in red tomato cans in Rob's room. And when he asked about them, he found out that Rob was selling.
So if you guys have been with me for a long time, we watched this like way back, like, I don't know, last fall or something, but I thought it was important to bring this back out again, and make these connections. Okay. So, these college kids, they're getting to know each other. These two guys in this example just happen to be like, "You smoke?" "Yes, I smoke." Like they're doing it together. And then it just takes one person to kind of have a crazy idea and for the other person to kind of go along with it. Right? Walter White. Yes. Walter White.
Several pounds of weed, just like he had been doing since he was 15. The camaraderie made in that room instantly sparked.
Oh, and I think it's interesting that so he was hiding it in tomato cans, probably like those those giant cans that they'll have to feed like a huge group like that. I'm just trying to think if we've seen anything in any photos that would be like, what were they hiding? What could they have been hiding it in? White Claw boxes? I mean, I don't know. That's what we see a lot of.
A super strong friendship, and Rob wasted no time introducing his new friend to the rest of the KA brothers. While the other brothers initially saw Mikey as a tryhard who was a little full of it, Rob's unwavering support for him secured Mikey a bit to pledge. Getting through pledgeship here was no easy task. First, pledges were assigned mandatory tasks to do all throughout the fall semester. Stuff like cooking, cleaning, running errands, and DBing on weekends. It didn't matter if you had class. You had to do these things. But this basic nanny shit wasn't even close to
boy.
Mikey and his pledge class had to endure lineups. Surprise meetings where the actives essentially just harassed the shit out of them. At these lineups, they made him drink pledge juice, a nasty ass
I'm muted and I've been talking. I said, oh my gosh, Song of the Siren Jenna, that bear. That bear. Now, I think the bear could be for my own personal stash. What happened to that bear, you guys? Was that bear in evidence? Is that bear on the evidence list? Where'd the bear go? Is the bear in the crime scene photos? Emily took him. Oh. That should be evidence. The bear should have been, it was on the floor in Xana's room. Yeah, it should have been in evidence. I always thought that about that bear because they're all, I mean, yes, could it be an innocent, just childhood stuffed animal that everybody thought was funny and they all took photos with it? Sure, absolutely. Could it also be holding something? Yes, absolutely. Yes. But again, I think that's something that would be personal in the house, but like, what if you had a large amount that you're selling? Where would you hide that? White Claw cans. White Claw cans in White Claw boxes. Didn't Maddie take White Claws over to Sigma Chi and come back with them? Or did she go over there empty-handed and come back with White Claws? I'm just asking questions out loud. I'm thinking out loud.
drink consisting of cat food, dip spit, and other stuff if they incorrectly answered
Ew.
questions wrong. They introduced them to the bourbon circle, where pledges had to kill 7 or 8 handles of Evan Williams, which was about 20 shots a person. Physical pain was a great part of lineups too, like when Mikey had to lay his elbows and toes on bottle caps, watching them bleed until the elders allowed him to stand up. But if you can believe it, all of this crescendoed into the worst and final week of pledgeship. Hell Week. Hell Week essentially included everything I talked about before, but pushed to the limit. During the week, pledges were not allowed to leave the main KA house for any reason besides going to class. They couldn't use their phones, weren't allowed to take naps or showers, and had to make do with the horrific sleeping situation. Like how Mikey did when he was forced to sleep in the dirt underneath the house for 2 nights, catching a 103-degree fever. It was quite literally
Oh my
hell,
God.
but it was all worth it thanks to the very last night of the week, kidnap night. On this chilly fall evening, Mikey and his class had the opportunity to get
So this right here is just painting the picture of what what are they calling this? Initiation, what their initiation is, right? Wait, what just happened? I lost my chat. Oh, there you are. Okay. I thought I lost chat for a minute. I think this is after Rush. I think this is their initiation. Like, you're getting into the house and you have to do this in order to get in. I think they rush before they find out. But either way, I mean, this is what they do, you guys. And this is like typical. So this is not far-fetched.
Back at the active, who was harshest to them during their pledgeship by literally kidnapping this organization.
But he's setting the stage here. So in this story, like, this is just showing how dedicated like you end up being, because you're going through this experience together as brotherhoods. They make you like, you know, take this oath, and he's showing the culture, and this culture right here blends perfectly with someone trying to do something illegal. They already know how to keep their mouths shut. They're already loyal. They know how to go through tough times and do like disgusting things, right? So he's just painting that picture.
Is so fucked up. The gang chose someone, bought copious amounts of duct tape, got drunk, and drove to the victim's house where they bound his legs and hands tight. Mikey, who was the getaway driver, sped off with the active in his trunk, screaming for help. But the fun didn't last long. While trying to get away, Mikey was pulled over after swerving around a pedestrian and failing to signal. And when the cop heard a human squealing like a pig in his trunk, it's obvious to say he was punished. Mikey got hit with reckless driving and driving without a license, which seems light considering he literally kidnapped someone. But the charges were the least of his worries. You see, while the cops had him in custody, they berated him with every question under the sun about marijuana, which seems odd considering he hadn't smoked or had any weed on him. Still, this interrogation and the fact that he now had a police record piqued Mikey's anxiety, enough to warn Rob as soon as he got out to move his red tomato cans somewhere safe in case the cops came to the house with a search warrant. And so the cans were stashed away. Mikey officially became a KA after an insane night, and the duo could finally take a deep breath and enjoy some wild parties as equals. Well, for about a semester. While
So this also just shows you how the kid got busted just for like reckless driving, they said, or something on kidnap night. But the cops know. The cops know. They were drilling him about drugs. They knew it was a fraternity kid that got pulled over. I'm surprised they didn't get turned into a CI, right? But I guess they didn't have anything on him. But they were drilling him about drugs. So he tells his friends like, hey, this is weird, move your stuff. But now they're both in the fraternity, right? Or is it just one of them?
living it up in the spring semester of his freshman year, Mikey's focus on academics dwindled to about nothing. He was mainly locked in on A, partying his ass off with KA, and B, running a mini weed dealing scheme in his freshman dorm. As a result of his priorities, he frequently missed classes and never did homework, netting him an outstanding 2.4 GPA and no signs of improvement. He was
troubles keeping your grades up. Troubles keeping your grades up. So let's make some connections here. If you're getting involved in this stuff and you're partying too much and you're just, you can't have everything on your plate. Something has to fall off your plate. And a lot of times, the good, healthy stuff is what falls off your plate. Yep.
left with no choice but to drop out, leaving his fun lifestyle and, more importantly, his new best friend behind. He packed all of his shit and moved back to Dunwoody, where his mom and stepfather were rightfully pissed off at their son. $30,000 a year and you didn't even go to class, his stepfather yelled. And back and forth fights left Mikey forced to enroll in online classes at Georgia State's Perimeter Community College. Of course, a random community college didn't bring the fun or boozing that Mikey had a taste of at CFC. but that didn't mean he was going to give up the drugs. Not doing drugs exactly, but selling them. You see, before Mikey left school, he made an agreement with his BFF Rob to start selling together. Rob at this point was getting big mail orders of bud from a woman in California and was making pretty decent
Mail order from California. Mail order, Mary Jane from California, you guys, in 2015. I can't. So now we have, so think of the connections, okay? Someone who, had to leave college because of grades, or maybe someone kicked out of college or a fraternity, right? So, and then his friend is still in the fraternity.
margins on his investments. But with Mikey's newfound free time, Rob could sell him some of his weed and let Mikey make some extra cash too. This was perfect timing, especially for Mikey, who had just started a valet job at the Tongue and Groove nightclub, a gig where he met a lot of rich people who were interested in his product. This marks the very first instance of Mikey and Rob's operation, but it would only get much bigger thanks to the rapid rising popularity of a new drug in town. And that drug was Xanax. The white bars had been floating around the campus of CFC since 2012, mainly used as a hangover cure by frat bros after hitting the town for 5 days straight. However, as the years passed, they became the primary choice in the drug economy, not only for how great people felt when taking them, but because they were easy to sell from a dealer's perspective. They were odorless, lightweight, and only a Schedule 4 drug.
So these were also described, I forget which interview or where I heard that at, but they call them bars. They called them, it had like 3 different names. A bus is a round one, a bar. There was like a few different names. Definitely used at the University of Idaho.
Being caught with large quantities of them resulted in less severe sentencing. While Rob was mainly a weed guy, he couldn't help but notice the skyrocketing demand for Xanax and quickly made them a priority in his scheme with Mikey. The issue was, he didn't have a Xanax guy to buy from, which is where Zachary Kligman came in clutch. Zachary was a 24-year-old based in Charleston who consisted mostly of knees and elbows, described as being a sweet, soft guy who really didn't come off as a big-time drug dealer. But contrary to his appearance, Zachary was a part of the biggest source of counterfeit manufactured Xanax pills in Charleston, also known as GG249 bars. He and his team pressed 500,000 pills a month, netting the operation roughly $300,000 in profit by selling Xanax in bulk to guys like Rob.
Okay. Wait, where am I at? Here I am. Now, it's not the counterfeiting stuff that is important in this video that I'm showing, but I think it's important to see how 2 college students, right? They were just freshmen going to college. They like to party. They got into fraternities. They met each other. One of them gets kicked out, can't handle partying too much and keeping their grades up, goes home. They're hustlers. There are people that are like that. They want to make money and they will make money any way that they can. There's people like that. I know someone like that. They will do that. And this kid happens to meet this guy and he's older. Who are the cops at the University of Idaho looking for? They said they were looking for an older guy. Not like real old, but like older than the college students. Middle-aged, they said, right? Because you need somebody like that. So I just like the way that this shows how the connections can work.
Would go to Zach and buy around 10,000 pills at a time for about 70 cents each and be able to offload all of them in a week, making around a 300% profit on his investment. And
it's refreshing. I don't know why, but it's refreshing. Hi, Steven. Clean that house. Uh-oh, come on. What are you doing? What are you doing? Let me do this.
$21 million.
Let me see what this is doing. Okay, we might be back. Let me get up to where we were. Not there. Let me see.
Quite the turnaround for the kid. The new trio of Rob, Zach, and Mikey was operating like a well-oiled machine, each making hundreds of thousands of dollars per month or early 20s. Legitimate business in the works. It only made sense for Mikey to make his grand, who we met through a broke ex-college kid, to someone who owned an Infiniti G35, a drop-top BMW 249 bars. He and his team pressed 500,000 pills a month, netting the operation roughly 300,000 in profit by selling Xanax in bulk to guys like Rob. Rob would go to Zach and buy around 10,000 pills at a time for about 70 cents each and be able to offload all of them in a week, making around a 300% profit on his investment. And one of the main guys Rob offloaded to was Mikey, who would
Okay, see how we got the middleman here? See how we got the middleman. So you have someone on campus. You have someone who used to be on campus, but they're not on campus anymore. And then you have the older guy. And so that's how the drugs flow in. And I think the cops are trying to find that older guy in the Idaho 4 case.
take these pills and sell them not only to his connections at his valet job, but also at other big colleges like UGA and Ole Miss. People were eating these pills up, quite literally. The demand for Xanax was stronger than anything Mikey had ever sold. And boy, did it make him stinky rich. Mikey went from a relatively broke ex-college kid to someone who owned an Infiniti G35, a drop-top BMW, and paying about $35,000 in rent a year for a luxury apartment in downtown Atlanta. Also, at his new apartment, he would rest from a day of hanging out with celebrities like Waka Flocka Flynn, who he met through a new job he started working as the right-hand man for a big Atlanta promoter. His weed and backwood rolling skills were too good for Waka and his boys not to hang out with them, which only gave Mikey more great connections. Gotta hand it to him. Quite the turnaround for the kid. The new trio of Rob, Zach, and Mikey was operating like a well-oiled machine, each making hundreds of thousands of dollars per month in their early 20s. So with the now legitimate business in the works, it only made sense for Mikey to make his grand return to CFC to continue scaling the drug ring while being closer to Rob and Zach. And boy, did it get bigger. But before we get into how big their operation got, I want to share with you a product that has changed the way I work forever. I'm talking about the Plod Note. And boy, let me tell you, this sleek device has changed the way myself and thousands of others work. At its core, the Note is essentially a genius AI meeting secretary, a note taker that records any conversation you want from meetings, lectures, calls, and more. With one click, it can record up to 30 hours nonstop. And unlike your phone, you don't need to worry about running out of battery, storage, or having a call cut you off. It will take that audio and automatically upload it to the Plod app. And this is where the real magic happens. The app generates a full transcript with speaker labels so you know exactly who said what. You'll find an AI-powered summary that lists all of the most important info from your audio file. Everything from a detailed summary that highlights what mattered in the combo, amazing insights and data extraction, and an actionable to-do list based on what the conversation was. There are also thousands of note templates you can choose from, so whether you're in engineering, a finance bro, in the medical field, or whatever else, you can make your notes tailored to what you're talking about. This bad boy would have been perfect for me in college. I mean, I couldn't pay attention to shit in class because I was too busy scribbling down notes in my down in the moment. My sleek, don't worry, those notes are per standards like get Plod to on right now, pack this thing one in Charleston at another new college called Trident Technical and rented out another high-end apartment in Charleston at 930 Noma, meaning he was paying 2 luxury leases at around $70,000 a year for no reason. Like I said, not academically smart, but the high price tag was worth it to him. He was back being involved in KA, hazing pledges and partying his ass off like the good old days. The only difference this time around was that he had way more money to have fun with, but he was hungry for more. Trying to figure out ways to make even more money with Rob and Zach, Mikey had a genius revelation. Start selling cocaine. You see, there weren't many, if any, small-time cocaine dealers on Charleston's campus, mainly because the trade was largely controlled by organized crime. But that didn't deter Mikey one bit. Instead, he sought out these people to make connections with them so he could bring some pure Colombian nose candy to the masses. Now don't fret, Mikey wasn't dumb enough to go cold calling these guys. He already had a connection thanks to his rapper friends in Atlanta. From them, he met a guy by the name of Uncle. Uncle was a middle-aged white man who spoke fluent Spanish and had a great relationship with the cartel, so much so that they gave Unc the best wholesale prices possible for their product. And when Unc heard that his boy Mikey wanted in on the cocaine business, he was more than happy to cut him in on these Costco-level deals. And so, in no time, Mikey was driving bricks of pure Peruvian booger sugar in a Toyota Prius with a baby on board sticker from Atlanta to Charleston, then selling it to Rob in bulk so he could sell it for profit too. At this point, the trio's network was near perfect. Rob would sell Mikey's cocaine in bulk to Zach, and Zach would sell his Xanax in bulk to Mikey and Rob, creating a lucrative structure by providing all parties access to wholesale drug prices. And with a well-established multi-level marketing type of pyramid involving dozens of other students and fraternity members driving their drugs across schools, these 3 boys were on top of the world. A low estimate suggests that their entire operation made them around $21 million, pushing hundreds of thousands of Xanax pills, hundreds of pounds of weed, and cocaine by the kilogram every month. The now 7 school-wide operation literally made them too much money, forcing them to bury millions on farmland, open Bitcoin wallets with millions, and even launder money in their own financials at KA. But of course, they spent this bread too. Mikey himself bought 5 sports cars and would consistently spend tens of thousands at nightclubs, strip clubs, and on clothes. Rob opted to save most of his money, but Zach was swiping away like Mike, buying a nice car for himself, and a slew of military-grade weapons like a compact pistol, an assault rifle, and a TAC-D grenade launcher to attach to his rifle. What the fuck? Like, are you planning on going to war? Well, whether they were getting ready for combat or not, the fellows were well set and saw no signs of slowing down, until a kid named Patrick Moffley made headlines. And this news would result in a devastating turn of events for the trio and their drug ring. Patrick grew up in an affluent neighborhood as the son of a luxury real estate developer and was strikingly similar to Mikey. He was also a super rowdy kid, known as a class clown and a dumb risk taker. For example, he once broke into his drug dealer's house and stole his weed, leading to violent threats against his family and his dad paying off the deal. But that didn't stop him from getting involved in dealing, as when he enrolled in the College of Charleston in 2015, his main focus was selling weed to, quote, make my parents proud that I'm making it on my own. You know, I doubt that made them happy at all, but regardless, he was making money, and he would eventually start to make even more after he joined Zach's part of the trio's drug ring. He was oddly good at packaging and selling Xanax, cocaine, and other drugs in resealed Starburst and Skittles bags. And at one point, it looked like Patrick was right on track to bring in boatloads like the boys. However, his fortunes would take a nosedive after he was caught selling 13 ounces of cocaine at a USC tailgate. This brought serious charges on him, facing a mandatory minimum sentence of 15 to 30 years without parole. He was released on bond, returned home to his family's farm, and spent the better part of a month battling Xanax withdrawals and panic attacks. And on top of his shitty situation, Zach cut him out of the operation, fearing Patrick would rat on him to lessen his sentence. As the long, gruesome, and lonely days went by awaiting Patrick's trial, his dad convinced him to return to CFC for a little while, as his roommates were concerned about him and his unpaid utilities. Patrick wasn't going to turn down an opportunity to socialize, so on March 3rd, 2016, he briefly moved back in and paid his utilities. And the next day, he was murdered. Police arrived at his college house after a call from his roommates, and what they found was shocking. Barely alive, Patrick was on the floor with a gunshot wound in his chest and sitting in a pool of hundreds of white pills, all of them marked GG249. After investigations took place, it was found that the reason for his murder was a drug robbery gone wrong, and the man who shot him, Charles Mungeon III, was eventually caught. But the Charleston police still had one unanswered question. Who sold
Now, one thing I do have to agree with that everybody says over and over again when they counter the drug aspect is the weapons, right? The weapons. And I agree with that, right? Whenever I look up these cases, I've done a lot of comparison cases. It's usually shootings. It is. And I can't deny that. So that is the one sticking point for me that doesn't equate to that world. Usually when they're taking somebody out or taking care of something, it's usually a gunshot. So that's the one thing that's different. I don't know. I still think that it was horrific on purpose. Yeah. Oh, you think except with the cartel? SG, older guy, KG, Moscow area. Oh, well, yeah, those are. I'm not going down that road. I know some people do think like they look at families and stuff like that. I just think that there are definitely people off campus, older, that, they would not blend in on campus. They get the college students to do it for them. Yeah. It's just a matter of figuring out who these people are. It doesn't necessarily mean that's who did it. I'm just saying what my theory is, like what I think could have possibly happened. That's all I'm doing. Not saying it's absolutely right, but I'm showing an example that really happened. And I'm surprised this rich kid, the third kid that got involved and got busted, didn't get turned into a confidential informant. But even though they're saying he didn't, his friends cut him out because they thought they knew he got busted. So they're like, "Ooh, you're going to rat on us."
Patrick these pills. And in seeking the answer, they would unravel one of the biggest drug rings to ever take place on a college campus. After the tragedy of Patrick's death, Detective Patrick Gill of the Charleston Special Investigations Unit, along with the FBI, CIA, the US Postal Service, and more, launched an operation with the sole purpose of breaking up the trio's drug ring. Their first problem, though, was, well, they didn't even know these three dudes were running it.
And I think that part of it, Kiss Me, would go to WSU because we have it documented that they were confiscating stuff and then not being able to account for it. So I don't say that type of thing. What's the word? You know, without having something to base it on.
Or who was involved at all. They did have one hot lead, though. Jake Poshik. In late 2015, Jake had been caught dealing Xanax in a public park and was hit with numerous possession with intent to distribute charges. He didn't budge much in cooperation, but after the SIU raided his girlfriend's apartment, he knew they weren't fucking around and eventually told them a name: Zachary Cligman. Between then and the day Patrick was shot, police had been monitoring Zach's primary stash house, known as the Tree House, with a hidden camera. The problem was that Patrick and his forces didn't see much.
Did they just say treehouse? Did they just say treehouse? This is the second time I've watched this. I don't remember that. I don't think we knew about treehouse back then. Listen. Oh my God.
He knew they weren't fucking around and eventually told them a name: Zachary Cligman. Between then and the day Patrick was shot, police had been monitoring Zach's primary stash house, known as the Tree House, with a hidden.
The primary stash house was known as the Tree House. Oh my God. That's just a coincidence, you guys. Just a coincidence. That's crazy. And someone was snitching. Someone was snitching.
In camera. Problem was, Patrick and his forces didn't see much sketchy shit going down on the footage over the course of these months, so they put Zach on the back burner. But when the incident with Patrick happened, they fired back up the tapes to see if Zach was reacting to the news. And sure enough, he was. Within minutes of the shooting, Patrick's roommate Fireball, who was also heavily involved in Zach's operation, texted him to move his clothes.
Oh my God. Fireball. Fireball. Do you guys know there was Fireball bottles all over that house? Oh my God. This is all the way over on the other side of the country. The video we're watching is from Georgia. Hey, Paco Jewel, can you believe this? We've got a tree house and we've got Fireball. Oh my God, that just scared me. Someone just revved an engine. Fireball, they were all over the hallway. They were on the steps going upstairs. I mean, yeah, it's the same stuff everywhere. I get you. But no, they're saying Fireball was someone's name, a nickname. Detective Gill, nicknamed Fireball, admitted that he'd told Kligman about the murder before the police had even arrived at 97 Smith Street. When Fireball had seen Patrick bleeding on the floor, he'd texted Zach the phrase, "Move your clothes." Move your clothes. That was code. See how we can look for these codes? How about "you're getting cheated on"? Do you think that might be a code? You're getting cheated on? Do you think that might be a code? Yep.
Code to move any and all illegal shit out of the treehouse. Zach rushed to his stash house and moved his military weaponry, thousands in cash, and millions of pills to an extra space storage unit as fast as he could. And the SIU saw all of it. The surveillance footage gave them all they needed to track down the unit, which when they seized it contained $25,000, laptops, ledgers, his firearms, and nearly 7,000 grams of Xanax pills. Zachary was the first one to go down, but he was not going to go down without a fight. Facing several severe charges and decades in prison time, he wasted no time cooperating with the SIU. He first tried to rat on Eric Hughes, one of the other main guys in his counterfeit Xanax factory. Eric was on top of it though, seeing Zach had a mugshot published online and completely cut him off.
Now, see, this is the other part. I'm going to stop here. If you think about the family members of two of the victims, the mom and the stepmom, they had been busted before the murders. And I think the timing of it is not like, it wasn't a year or years ago that they had gotten busted. And it wasn't like very, very close to the murders. I think it would have been enough time for, and the key thing about that is not just them getting busted. It is them having decades of trouble with the law, with substances, and not getting harsh consequences, not getting consequences. So what did they do to get out of those consequences? So I think several things could have been happening. I think we know that there's like whoever's running the drug scene in that part of their state where they were, like you have territory. You have territory. Hi, Kiss Me. I said hi earlier. I hope you heard me. And so they're already familiar with that campus. Like they've got their in, they're supplying it, right? And then they probably have these women who were also distributing for them in different places, getting busted and maybe snitching on them. Like, I just think it can be this whole huge connected thing. that's a motive that I think makes sense. And so all of this coming out this past week with these interviews that we're seeing, it's just been leading to me and verifying, getting some names of who would be involved in that. Yeah. Yeah, see, you guys know the names. You guys know the names. Yeah, and I know that there's creators who have like gotten into exactly who the people are, right? And exactly more exactly how they're connected. Yeah. Yep. Yeah, territory for sure. So they're going to be on that campus. They're going to know some of these college kids. They're the ones that are making them the money, And then if you've got someone in your network who sold you down the river and got you in trouble and their kids happen to go to that university, crazier things have been said about this case. Look at Astastic's question. Let me see. Let's see. Do you remember the suitcase? Yes. I'm going to write that down. I do remember that. Was that the one? I think there was one in the spare room, and then there was one upstairs. It was either upstairs or in Kaylee's room. And I remember that because at that time, we thought Kaylee was just living there. And we're like, well, why is there a suitcase? And then I forget where that came from, that it was Steve, like Junior's, I thought, suitcase. Yep. Yeah. In the hallway upstairs. Yeah, let me jot that down so I can see if I can find some old footage or something about that. But I guess my point when I hear them saying, move your clothes, that's a code. Like if you and I agree on what that means, then you say it, no one else is going to know what that means, but we know what that means. And when we see those Venmo payments from the students, like that's one of the things I was looking for to see if there was something over and over again, but I couldn't figure anything out in the Venmos. But I do think the text messages to Ethan, you're getting cheated on, could have a different meaning between him. Oh, that was the other thing. When I said the CG, I got to look back into that Christian Gonzalez, because it was Josie. Josie is the one whose interview we're not allowed to hear anything, like nothing. And she had a Snapchat that Ethan wanted the contact, and it was CG. So that's interesting. Maybe that CG is the guy, the C guy that we're looking for. I don't think it's Christian Gonzalez. I don't. But that's the only person I've seen with those initials, CG, for sure. Yeah, speaking of China, when Ryan Wedding was arrested, that's one of the reasons why he was a white guy from Canada that got accepted into the Mexican cartels and ended up being a leader of the Mexican cartel, is because he was super smart and he had connections to China. Yeah, so you guys aren't wrong with that. Yep. So I'm going to stop there for today. Thank you everybody for your donations, and thank you for joining back with me today after I was gone for a while. I appreciated all your support. Watching my shorts. I posted a lot of shorts while I was gone to share with you, what I was up to and let you see everything. So go check those out if you haven't. Tomorrow, I am going to show the live hearing with EWU, and tomorrow should be the good one. They should have to be making their arguments. So we're going to get to hear exactly what EWU calls MPD out for with their FOIAs, with their records requests. I hope that they address how much they're redacted. I have a feeling they're not going to, but I hope they do. And I hope that they also are aware of how much they're charging. Like, I hope that gets addressed. Where did I see it? I saw it posted that it's supposed to be at 9 a.m. But if that is, what time are they over there? Not Mountain Time. But it should be 12 Eastern, I hope. So I will be figuring that out today, and I will post the live tonight. So we're all ready to go for tomorrow. Juror 13, have a good day, everybody. I still hate this case. I know. Rest in peace, Kaylee, Maddie, Xana, and Ethan, for sure. Thank you, Love Tina. I appreciate it. Yeah, I still got to go back through Bianca's interview too. I'll probably do that for Wednesday. Have a great rest of your day, you guys. Don't forget to join me tomorrow for that hearing. I cannot wait. We'll watch it, and then I'll take notes while it's happening, and then we'll break it down afterwards. So that should be a good one. I think Dago's live now, so let's all head over there. Yep. See you guys later. We're clocking out for now. Bye.
Thanks for watching, hope you felt the spark. Please hit that like before it gets dark. Subscribe, it's free and keeps us going strong. You're part of the crew now, right where you belong. Join us next time, same truth, same fire. We bring the heat and never tire. We're typically unique and proud to be a husband and wife in podcast harmony. That could be unique, yeah, that's you and me. Don't forget to like and hit subscribe, it's free. Come back again, we'll be right here with truth and laughs and zero fear. We don't always agree, but that's the show. One love, two minds, letting it flow. We dig deep with crack jokes, we call it like we see. If that's your vibe, you belong here with me. We don't always agree, but that's the show. One love, two minds, letting it flow. We dig deep with crack jokes, we call it like we see. If that's your vibe, you belong here with me. We don't always agree, but you felt the spark. Please hit that like before it gets dark. We dig deep with crack jokes, we call it like we see. If that's your vibe, you belong here with me. Thanks for watching, hope you felt the spark. Please hit that like before it gets dark. Please hit that like before it gets dark. It's free, it keeps us going strong. You're part of the crew, now right where you belong. Join us next time, same truth, same fire. We bring the heat and never tire. We're typically unique and proud to be a husband and wife and proud to be a husband and wife in podcast harmony. Yeah, that's you and me, that's you and me. Don't forget to like, hit subscribe, it's free. Come back again, we'll be right here with truth and laughs and zero fear.